Hello, hello to all amazing people, TheNeomare here, and welcome to another episode of Limbus Company, an amazing turn-based tactical combat gacha from Project Moon. You can find the full playlist in the comment description below the video, together with the previous episodes where I started the Season 4, the Chapter 6, the Wuthering Heights, There is no time to, and today we're gonna continue the story with the letter. Oh, I feel the heartbreak coming. I bet in this letter there were some not so great words for Heathcliff, but let's see if I'm correct or not. The letter. Dear Heathcliff. A mysterious case of missing persons in a street shrouded in thick, heavy fog. It's almost as if we're in the middle of some scary urban legend. Not that I'm scared, not at all. Don't force yourself to laugh, Sinclair. I don't like this at all. Really scared so soon after entering the nest? Everyone seems to be on the edge, thanks to the unsettling story we heard earlier. I know what to do. Hey, Heathcliff, that invitation, can you read it out loud for us again? It will be a good idea to remind ourselves of our current mission. Besides, I could use a refresher myself. It's just an invitation. There ain't anything special about it. The neatly folded invitation Heathcliff produced from his pockets completely betrayed his attempt at appearing aloof. It was folded with such tender care that it almost resembled a neat paper craft. He cleared his throat. Sometime later. Please, honor this occasion with your presence. So yeah, Cat is calling him back, and he was romantically inclined towards her, I think, but it was not it was not returned. The emotions were not reciprocated. That's my understanding, if I remember correctly. With great respect, Nelly. Well, wasn't it Catty? Nelly? Maybe Nelly is her like assistant or something. And bollocks. You have to be here, Hit. I'll be waiting. Kathy. There we go. Damn. Woohoo! This wasn't exactly what I had in mind when I asked him to read the letter. What are we, a party crowd at some dive bar? Oh, that wasn't what we were going for? I knew that this would happen. I ain't even mad. Besides, all she said is that she'd be waiting. She never said she missed me or wanted to see me. Come on, bud. Just look at the way she wrote it. Here. Let me see. Some sinners gather in a circle like they're doing a literal analysis of the invitation letter. Maybe I was worrying too much. They're like the school kids opening their first love letters. What, were you never ever interested in those things, Sinclair? I was a good, diligent student. The only thing I ever cared about were my textbooks and the school lectures. Sinclair, thy countenance appeared to be turning rosy again. For the last time I said it's genetics. Oh, he blushes. We cannot see it because everything is in a tone of brown/grayish color here in this chapter due to the T-Corp's anomaly. Abnormality. What about you? What about you, Dante? Oh, never mind. Hey, what's with that oddly sorry look on your face? The manager has no need for your sympathy. I'm certain that there are those who appreciate their unique appearance. Is it not odd? What, that someone actually wrote Heathcliff a love letter? Oh my, Yisang, that is such a rude thing to say. No, I had no intention of relaying such crass sentiments to... Just kidding, Yisang, just kidding. I was actually thinking the same thing. Since we're not looking for a Lobotomy Corp branch of T-Corp, since we're heading to this Wuthering Heights manor instead, I suppose that theirs will find the golden bow. That was precisely what I had intended to convey, Miss Ishmael. Thank you for bringing that up. I was starting to get tired of being the bringer of unpleasant news. Hopefully none of you are under the impression that we're headed to Wuthering Heights just because of some invitation Heathcliff received. Because if you are, you'll be sorely disappointed. Right, so if you're looking at the context she wrote this in, what she's really trying to say here is... No, but you got to look at the tone she used here. Sure, moving on. There was a report from the LCCB that a golden bow has been observed. They narrowed its location down to somewhere within the Wuthering Heights manor. Of course they did. But there was a significant risk on account of the manor's unique security system that prevented the before team from conducting their on-site preliminary survey. The exact location of the bow is yet to be identified. Unique security measures. Not sure if I remember anything like that. Right, that it's even more odd, no other ways to put it. Indeed, though I remain ignorant of the monetary value and the public perception of its worth. I do know that the golden bow is not an item so easily obtainable that may be housed in a normal private manner. It can be shared that the golden bow wasn't always located inside the manor. I see. Then the golden bow is previous location in an unknown area within the D-Corp's Lobotomy core branch has been transferred to the manor for a reason we're just yet to be aware of. Right, then, this Catherine person will be a major part of this operation. To have a golden bow all to herself in that manner? And she's got to be one confident woman too. Confident enough to believe that Heathcliff will come to the manor just to see her face, even if it wasn't for the golden bow. None of this conversation seemed to even register to Heathcliff, however. Oh, let me know if you see a barber shop or a boutique nearby. Yeah, need to use those coupons that we almost died for. That's right. This isn't a tour bus, Heathcliff. We will not make unnecessary stops like the ones you suggest. Right, I get it. Then why don't you just leave me behind and go on ahead? I'll catch up. So, Heathcliff, I've been watching the shops very closely, but I haven't noticed a single open shop. It might be because of the rumors from earlier and the fog. But why don't you just leave it to us? Roger and I... What the hell are you? Wait! Are they gonna give him a haircut? Well, that's something. That's something indeed. Okay. And another story. Colors. Oh, can we get some colors? Colors would be nice. The bus had emerged from the back streets into a rather quiet-looking village. The fog was still thick and everything was still in that faded hue. Even the occasional sightings of pedestrians had ceased. The very idea of color variation seemed like an alien concept here. All I see are orange-hued lights coming through the windows of misty grey buildings. It was as though everyone decided to stay indoors for the day. I can't even tell where we are or how close we are from our destination anymore. Have you been here by any chance? He sang. He was the only other sinner who was spent a while in T-Corp, so I decided to ask if he recognized anything. But it was evident that the sinner was unfamiliar to him. Though I have resided here for some time, most of my hours were spent earning a living and conducting my research when I could afford to do so. Thus, I have not ventured freely the streets of T-Corp. I can't imagine doing any research at a place like this can have been easy. It is quite manageable once one grows accustomed to this monochromatic sight. The presence of variance in color itself is a concept alien to those who are born and raised in these lands, and I had shoulders of those that I could lean on. Even for a fleeting moment, it helps to have such a support when acclimating to a place as foreign as this. Isang looks away to a place far beyond from here, memories of his past most likely. Did you ever hear anything about what T-Corp singularity is? As all singularities are, its true nature, its mechanisms and function are all something of an enigma, yet... Isang paused and carefully began to speak. What I'm aware of is that it has all to do with time, though I'm unsure of its use. Well, I suppose all this is but meaningless conjecture, and only Miss Faust among us must be aware of the answers. Its singularity is one of the reasons T-Corp constantly drains colors from its inhabitants. What's time got to do with color? Yes, what does time have to do with color? If the control of time is so imperative to T-Corp's operations, then they must also control the realm of light. Oh. Okay. Yeah, because time and light speed and all that stuff, physics, right? As light inherently has much to do with the spectrum of colors, these two subjects eventually overlap. That is as far as I could deduce regarding the concept of time that I'm aware of. Yet it must also be said that it takes time for me to reach Faust's specific knowledge regarding T-Corp's singularity. Faust known among us for her, maybe, and perhaps rarely ever gave us answers this detailed. Then, now's the time to ask her all my questions. Yes, Miss Faust, as we discussed the subject of time. Indeed, it will be safe for us to move on from the subject of T-Corp at this time. Oh, there she goes again, teasing us with the stuff she's not going to tell us anyway. Well, I guess I should be glad that she decided to tell us this much. I doubt she will tell us more no matter how much we pry. That's kinda sad. That there are people who never seen color their whole lives, all because of this singularity. Well, that's just how it goes, isn't it? In the eyes of a stranger, we'd just be another one of those poor miserable people who's never seen color. That's the danger in trying your very first bite of the meat. You taste it once and you'll never unknown the flavor, and in the end you'll start to wish you never tried it. What? It's pretty disappointing that even the sun loses its vibrancy here. Oft did I long to see the colors of the sky, especially the sky that looms over a light shower of rain. Yeah, things like the color of the sky too. You long to see it only because you've seen its beauty. If you're born here, never to escape its borders to the last of your days without ever seeing the blue sky, then it hardly called that miserable. Ah, I see. Yeah. So only once you know something great can you miss it. I guess that's the point. Calling even that miserable is nothing but sheltered arrogance. I guess that could also be true. The atmosphere in the bus suddenly became incredibly frosty. Oh, hey, speaking of color, I got something to ask ya. Have you guys ever heard of the colors game? Apparently each type of personality has a corresponding color. Roger, who was the one to chill the bus in the first place, was also the first to break the ice. If Isang enjoys the light blue color of the sky, then let's see, you must be a thinker and a philosopher who prefers the calm and quiet. Oh, how did you come to know that? That is quite a remarkable talent you have. Haha, I wish my favorite color to be rated as well. Forsooth, I quite fancy the color red. Nay, yellow, nay, red, nay. Now, wait your turn. Next in the order is Faust. Wait up. I know exactly what you're about to say. You're about to say Faust does not hold much belief in such ideations or something like that, right? Which is exactly what people like the color who like the color white would say. I'm right, aren't I? Like, your hair's white too. I will not comment further on this subject. Me? My favorite color? What a stupid question. That's enough, lass. But I like... He pauses. A great manner begins to emerge into our view from a distance. I could immediately tell that this was the Wuthering Heights manor Heathcliff had mentioned. Black. It's the color you get when you dump an entire set of paint into a bucket, innit? And that's exactly why I tolerate it. Keep throwing paint over paint over paint, and you get black. Simple. I can clearly hear that Heathcliff is muttering through gritted teeth. I have a feeling that black wasn't always his favorite color. Yeah, painted black. His black heart after he got heartbroken. The makeover. Okay, some fun. Usually the first 3 chapters are full of story and no fights, but this time we had an introductory fight and now we're just reading some nice stories. So that's the manor, okay, it looks like a dreadful place. Oh look, it's our bus. 2 things changed the moment the Wuthering Heights manor appeared over the horizon. Mirror, I need a mirror. Anyone got a mirror? Come on, anyone? What has gotten into you, Heathcliff? This mirror isn't... One was Heathcliff, who suddenly overcome with intense anxiety. And the other was the weather that grew dark and tempestuous all of a sudden. What a terrifying noise. Was the weather here always this awful? Ah, it was always this windy, yeah, almost like a constant tempest. But this thunder and lightning, well, the weather at Wuthering Heights was always this awful, thunder or not. That really is one massive manor if it looks that big from this far away. Sharon can't see well, not sure if this is the right place, but we're here. Lightning goes boom, eyes go ooh. The man looked as though it came straight out of a dark gothic tale full of mysteries. I was half expecting to hear a haunting cry echoing from its windows. So, are we just waiting for Virgilius to go off the bus again? When hasn't that been the case, Manager Bud? I mean, it's not like we're digging into Lobotomy core branch or entering one of the wings, right? It's just a manor, so I don't see why stopping him from coming with us. Yeah, just a manor, I have a feeling. Now, off the bus. Sharon and I will wait outside until we are done with our mission. None of the sinners were hiding their dissatisfaction with Virgilius. Some of them were even standing with their arms crossed. By the looks on your faces, clearly, you all collectively have something to say. Of course not. I would hardly ever dare to challenge thee. Well, maybe not every sinner. We've gone through a lot of things, survived various trials and tribulations. Tribulations that could have been easily handled had Virgilius been there with us. So, Virgilius, looks like Ishmael decided to step up as our representative. You introduced yourself to us as our guide, didn't you? So, what kind of guy just tosses everyone at the start of the journey and goes off on their own with the bus driver? Where are you guys even going? I want to make it clear that I'm not being a hard ass for no good reason. I'm asking you because I want to trust you. After all, we're technically all in the same boat. Well, a bus boat, a boat bus, whatever. We are co-workers. I'd say the least you could do is to tell us where we're headed. Virgilius held his silence for a moment. His brows were not as furrowed as they usually are, which was the only indicator to me that he wasn't as offended to hear this as I thought he'd be. Just like your sinners who joined this company via your individual contracts, I also signed a contract with specific clauses and conditions I must abide by. Huh? The company made a caller most illustrious sign a contract as well? Of course I did. Why would I be babysitting your children on the bus otherwise? I'm not one to work for free. I don't want to bother detailing each and every clause of my contract to you, nor should I. But Ishmael, I quite like that you used the word trust in your speech, so I believe that you deserve at least a brief explanation. I'm not supposed to retrieve the golden bows myself, nor am I allowed to provide you with any direct support. The contract stipulates that I must leave everything to the manager and the sinners. Why the hell would you sign a contract like that? As always, it's meaningless to ask me why. Contracts are rarely ever fully understood by those that are not a part of it. But what I can tell you is that when I ask you sinners to leave this bus for a mission, I suppose in a way I say it with a lighter heart than I used to. I'm no longer concerned that in my desire to fulfill the conditions for every clause in my contract the manager might be irreversibly hurt. I would be left with nothing if such a thing were to happen. Did he just admit to trusting us more than he used to? Don't make him repeat something like that, Dante. Especially when someone went through the trouble of expressing their true hidden feelings. Besides, wait, I'm not going in there like this. Nope, can't do this. Oi, turn the bus around. Bus. Memphis doesn't do U-turns. Bollocks, and going back to the manor in these wrinkly rags? Oh yeah, right, every single one of our elaborate plans to dress him up in fancy clothes fell through. Hey, you don't look that bad. If I go back in this rags, those bastards will... Those bastards, who are they? Bastards that always eye me up and down, trying to find a speck of dust, a single flaw, something to latch onto just to humiliate me. Then gouge out their eyes. Oh, that would be quite the clever solution. What are you even... It looks like Heathcliff is the only one who's taking this seriously. The hell is wrong with the pair of you? Quit giggling like that. Good thing we came prepared exactly for this occasion. I just couldn't imagine Heath managing to pull off this makeover on his own. Roger and I did some shopping in the back streets before we entered the nest. We were waiting to reveal these just in case there was anything more impressive in the nest, but thanks to the disappointing lack of anything even remotely interesting, we'll just make do with what we picked up earlier. Wait a bloody second. When the two of you went off on your own, no, all you brought back was a whole basket of cookies, wasn't it? Those cookies were decoy cookies, Heath, though some of them did end up as a part of my daily sustenance, of course. While I couldn't find the particular brands I use back home, this should be more than enough for a proper fashion makeover. But come on, can't we just keep things nice and happy for once? Let him wear something else other than his uniform just for today. Like no one wants to meet their old flame while wearing their work clothes, right? Well, I doubt the guys will ever let anything like that slip. Fine. What? I would prefer if we didn't have to encourage another rogue incident with the back door. Seriously, guide! Heathcliff rambled like he was about to give Virgilius a big hug. Now, Heathcliff, close your eyes, relax, and let us take care of everything. Pretend you're at the proverbial peach blossom spring. Wait, don't touch my hair like... Whoa! Oh, you ain't half bad. Okay, let's see what they did. Heathcliff's getting a makeover. Sometime later. Oh, I would not recognize him. Oh my gosh, what in the world? Oh. I think you might have overdone it with the hair. Don't touch it. Do you even have any idea how hard Hong will work on that? Where'd his bat go? It's a reunion of the century. We can't possibly let him say hello to his old flame with a big brutish club in his hand. Sir Heathcliff appeared a tad more merciful than usual. Mayhaps he shall accept my request should I implore him to purchase me a pint of ice cream. And he no longer looks like he's on the verge of punching me when I make the smallest noises. Lad, please don't bring up anything even remotely like that in front of Catherine. Well, I'll be. Clothes really do make the man. Do let me know how this reunion goes. I'll be looking forward to hearing that tale. Sure. So Heathcliff, I've been meaning to ask this question for a while. I wanted to know the answer, but I couldn't bring myself to ask him. Why do you live Wuthering Heights? It's where the love of your life lives, isn't it? Heathcliff, who'd been busily moving about and preparing to leave the bus, suddenly comes to a halt. Yeah, that's a hard question. I didn't mind it. The trashings, the starvings, the abuse, them treating me like a servant, like I'm something beneath them. I didn't mind being treated like I'm nothing more than an afterthought, like I'm some impure trash to be discarded. But when I heard what Catherine said, I realized that I no longer had any reason to remain in that manner. Heathcliff did not elaborate further. Perhaps it wasn't that he didn't, but that he couldn't bring himself to. I didn't dare to ask him what he was about to say, so I simply nodded in response. I see. Oh, it looks like Sharon's got something to say about your new fit. Sharon has something to say, something big. Great, awesome. Now, Sharon, what do you think? Looks oily and greasy. Sharon doesn't like greasy. Oh, this isn't how I thought I'd go. Sharon's words must have hit him hard. It took quite a bit of convincing for Heathcliff, who was severely discouraged by Sharon's remark, to exit the bus. Oh, Sharon. Usually, Sharon doesn't cause trouble. It is what it is. The front gate. This is uncomfortable. Oi, is it normal for these clothes to squeeze harder with every step I take? Yeah, I also hate wearing this kind of formal clothing. I never feel good in it. I'm all about like t-shirts and like comfortable pants. That is what it means to maintain an air of dignity. Once you get used to that feeling, you'll feel like you're missing something whenever you're dressed casually. No, you're not going to. So this must be the front gate to your former place of abode, Heathcliff. The massive gate alone feels downright intimidating. Let me just make this clear. I don't think clothes makes a man. Heart does, so I think this whole dress-up thing was a huge mistake, but hey, let's see what happens. That's one big front door. It is known that in certain regions of the city, the size of the front gate is an indicator of one's social standing. The magnitude of this front gate indicates that the owner of this home is very affluent. Heathcliff, you picked on Honglu for being a rich kid when you yourself was raised at some huge mansion? I didn't mind it at all. I'm feeling a bit betrayed, actually. See, Heathcliff, though, appeared quite different today. Keep your stupid comments to yourself. Yeah, he's still a brute, even though he has nice clothes. Some were teasing him and some were genuinely surprised, but it didn't matter to Heathcliff. Every word he spat out was dripping with venomous spite. I wasn't even remotely close to being rich. I was never once rich in this manner. I wasn't even allowed to be content, not even for a moment. And this manor never accepted me, not even for a... What the hell? A lightning strike. It seems to have struck an area near this forest. That was so loud. It's okay, I heard that it's extremely rare for lightning to actually hit people. Well, rare, but not impossible. A momentary musing reveals that a strike of levin brings about a sensation that is not unlike the joy of fireworks. It fills the dark and cold void of the sky with its incandescent brilliance, even for a brief moment before fading away into oblivion. Right, and in exchange it loses everything it has, burning and leaving nothing but ash behind. What joy is there to be found? I could hear some forest critters fleeing, spooked by the thunder strike. Oh, behold, a tiny squirrel over yonder! Whoa, such nature so close to home. I didn't know you used to live in such an eco-friendly place. I suppose I wouldn't have to go through the trouble of building a private zoo if I lived at a place like this. To have a garden or a forest so near your home, even if you were to ignore everything else, that alone indicates that its owner is somewhat of unimaginable affluence. Right, I remember that Sinclair's home was in the middle of a forest too. Squirrels, sure, there was other animals roaming about too. Sometimes, when I was so miserable that I could hardly bear to even be in that manner, I'd go to the forest and not return for a long, long time. Oh, Heathcliff, you surprised me. Oh, then this tiny forest friend, little silver squirrel, must have been quite a jolly companion for thee. Little silver squirrel! Did the lightning zap the squirrel? Like, this game reminds us that it holds back no punches. The little squirrel that might once have been Heathcliff's tiny forest friend was immediately scorched down to a pile of ash the moment it crossed over into the manor's front gate. Oh, are these the defenses that they were talking about? That was a weird lightning strike. Did it just curve me there? The chance of such an occurrence is extraordinarily low. It might be that I'm overreacting, but it looked as though that lightning was curving itself to strike exactly where that squirrel was standing. Whoa, Heathcliff, I had no idea you grew up at such a dangerous place. I'm impressed you even survived. No, blimey, I've not seen anything like it. Right, Heathcliff, ready to knock on the front door gate? The front gate. Heath stared blankly at the front gate of the manor. I've not knocked on this gate in a good many years. I once had to wait out here for hours because they all refused to let me in. Everyone except Catherine. She snuck out of the manor to open it for me. Walking through the heavy rain. Well then, I'm sure it won't be different this time. So if I knock, Catherine will come out to let me in. Hup. Heathcliff takes a deep breath before knocking on the front door. Ha, nothing. That's not what I meant when I said it won't be different this time. Oh, we can try climbing over the fence. I think we can clear that height as long as we're okay with breaking our ankles. No. Heathcliff was a whole bundle of anxiety before he knocked on the front gate, but perhaps this perceived slight reverted Heathcliff into his usual angry self. I was invited to this manor. The invitation would be meaningless if he were to leap over the fence. Catherine, I'm back! They've ignored you once, continuing to shout won't... Catherine! Despite his efforts, not even a soul steered beyond the front gate. None of us really believed that anyone would come out to greet him. But... Cut! The front gate began to creak open as though someone was answering his pleas. The makeover was worth it, Alright. So the gate opens and so we enter. What awaits us there? Probably a fight. Nelly. Okay, Nelly. Who's Nelly? Okay, let's do one more. So I guess this will be a story episode without fights, but that's fine. It do be like that in these heavy story chapters, at least on the start, before things heat up a little bit. The heavy rain and the tempest only grew harsher the closer we got to the manor. Though we have long made it past the front gate, not a soul doth appear. The bubbling excitement of the sinners when they disembarked the bus had all but disappeared. Silent air of apprehension surrounded them as they gingerly took their hesitant steps towards the manor. Cathy, have you been well? No, Catherine, it has been a while, hasn't it? No, this ain't it either. In the midst of this aura of uneasiness, only Heathcliff seemed to be preoccupied by something else. The rest of the sinners were... Did you catch that? A bird, a subspecies of sparrows to be exact. Lightning continues to strike aggressively, even this far past the front gate. We would have been burned to a crisp had it struck even a little closer. Lightning continued to blast the earth as though it wouldn't be satisfied until it reduced every living thing in the manor grounds to a pile of ashes. Is it going to hit us if we walk faster? Or maybe it hits things that are moving too slowly? Maybe we should speed up? I don't know. Our walking speed seems irrelevant. Instead, it's almost as if this lightning has a will of its own, striking with intent. Things bring back some unpleasant memories. Oh, maybe it's like this house defense system. There we go. I already said it. I'm smarter than all of these sinners, aren't I? Defense system. Do you imply that this may be a part of the manor's security measures? Yes. Yes, guys, yes. I mean, you saw it curve. Like, what more proof do you need? Maybe it only targets things that enter the manor grounds without permission. I've seen security measures that are more precise and more conclusive than this. Larger manors often do install more effective security systems after all. Oh, I think our family talked about installing a defense system at our home too. It was one of these topics that have kept coming up during dinner. That would make sense, not that I'll ever understand the thought process behind these systems. Perhaps the security measure that prevented the before team from approaching the manor may be... Yeah, but we have the invitation with us. I think we'll be just fine. Is that really all this is? Is this just one of those normal security measures that every rich family supposedly has? This is pretty interesting though. I heard that the technology to change the weather itself is really expensive, to the point of being inefficient, so expensive that I've not seen it myself. I remained silent because I didn't want to concern the seniors with something I wasn't sure about. But the closer we got to the manor, the more confident I became that something was off. That this extremely abnormal weather isn't the work of some security system. This absolutely has something to do with the golden bow. But this golden bow feels different from the ones we've encountered before. It's a bit more chaotic. Oh, these flowers, they've got color. Yeah, they do. Look at that. Sinclair was right. The manor's garden was slightly littered with flowers. They were the only things in color in this dreary sight. I wonder what these flowers are called. Huh, I guess you can return the colors even to flowers if you cough up enough cash. Indeed. Then the proprietor of this manor must have held a particular love for these flowers. To return the colors to such transient things as flowers? Or perhaps it may simply be that they are preposterously affluent. Heathcliff quietly gazed at the patches of violent flowers as he sang mused out loud. You're wrong. There was no particular love for those flowers. There was no room, no warmth in the heart to spare for mere flowers. Heathcliff appeared so doleful that I felt as though he had built a tall, opaque wall between himself and the world. I could not bring myself to ask further. He did not tell us the name of those flowers. Oh my, please come this way. Someone hurriedly runs this way from the manor's front door holding a lantern. What an awful weather, Well, T-Corp is... The Wuthering Heights manor is rarely ever sunny, but this is quite a storm. Long time no see, Nelly. My word, Heathcliff, is that you? It really is you. Yeah. You haven't the slightest idea how worried I was since you left. Have you been eating well? You've not been bullied by a rough crowd, have you? Bullied by a what? We've wanted to hear from you for so long. Do come in now, come in. This Nelly regarded us with a curious look, as though she didn't quite understand what we were supposed to be. If I may be so bold as to presume, would you be our dear Heathcliff's friends? Well, friends, are we? The answer to that question hinges on the range of affinity one would define as a delineation that separates friends from acquaintances. Of course, we are friends, precious friendship, forged in fire, multiple fires actually. Your dear Heathcliff's precious friends are about to freeze to their deaths in the rain, woman. What honorable guests I welcome to this place today. I must be all over the place to leave you all standing in the rain. Come in now, come in. It's a tad warmer in here than it is outside. The interiors of Wuthering Heights was rather dark yet. This manor doth have color. Its hue appeared a tad faded from its original vibrancy, but there was color in this manor. What I tell you, I could see color inside this manor. Well, it's all bought by money anyway. Believe it or not, there's something about these lanterns hanging about the manor that brings back colors. Ah, the lanterns that return the object's original saturation. Those are quite expensive luxuries, are they not? It still doesn't bring all the colors back. Things still remain a tad gloomy. So, where's Cathy? Heathcliff, please tell me of your life since you have left us. Where have you been staying? Have you been eating well? Have you lost your weight? Have you lost weight? Oh my, I'm glad your delay wasn't too substantial. We have all been waiting for your arrival. Now let me get a better look at you. The fine dress clothes, the hair. You've certainly grown into a right proper gentleman, haven't you? Quite a popular lad you are, with a posse of friends and all. Well, did I? But of course, I would not have recognized you from a distance. Nelly was talking so fast that Heathcliff wasn't spared even a second to get in a single word. Nelly, was it? What is your precise relation to Heathcliff? As his special friend, colleague and comrade in arms, I cannot help but be curious as to how the two of you know each other. Aldous, who was conspicuously scanning the interiors of the manor, suddenly asked Nelly the most transparently suspicious question that I've ever heard. Let's see, Heathcliff's, how should I put this? Governant? Nanny? Nanny, yeah. So I guess she raised him as from when he was a kid. Kind of expected that. Nanny, I suppose. Nanny? What, like you whipped Heathcliff's snot, changed his baby clothes, and am I thinking of the right nanny? I mean, her whole behavior and the way she talked to him made it kind of guess that. And when the baby's fussy about food, Nanny spoon-feed it to them. Oi, Nelly, quit teasing me like that. Maybe she wasn't. Okay. You weren't exactly my nanny, and you know that. Okay, guess not. But they wrote it like she was. So I still think I correctly identified what the purpose was. We've known each other since we were both young. And I did not treat her like a servant or follow her around like she was my nanny. Mind you, I'm now the chief butler of the house. You must see the other butlers moving about like soldiers when I give a word. Well, you were the best at your job. Nelly, I'm getting quite impatient, so I've got to ask. Heathcliff must have wanted too badly to ask where Cathy was. So when's the banquet starting? Instead, he did his true question behind a mask of aloofness. But Nelly's expression became somewhat odd upon hearing Heathcliff's query. The banquet. Oi, when's that witless brigand coming? Is he even on his way? You can't just leave after gathering us all down here. You have to sit any second longer next to these mugs. I'm going to lose it. Well, now we know where Heathcliff got his attitude from other people at this manor. There was a furious voice echoing from down the halls. Nelly, wait, I recognize that voice. My, don't rush, he just arrived, mind you. Let's just join the others, Heathcliff. Like I said, we've all been waiting for your arrival. Heathcliff bit his lips anxiously and followed Nelly. This doesn't feel at all like a manor that's about to throw a party. Yeah, that cruise ship party, this manor. You can't hide the rising sense of dread from places like this, doesn't matter how hard you try. This manor does not appear to have been a place where liveliness is an expected element. I see signs of rushed cleaning conducted immediately before the guests arrived. Several cracks and areas in need of repair have been identified as well. Also, I was scant expecting a rescuer's party, yet this is quite a depressing presentation. I followed Don Quixote to the halls. She appeared terribly disappointed. And my throat is like, oh my gosh, like, need something to drink, so... Right. Oh, we're gonna be fighting. A warm reception, a little bit too warm maybe. Right, okay, going through this thing at steady pace. We don't know how many will be, because as always, when the chapter gets released, it gets released in pieces. But yeah, lots of stories, so we're going through them quite fast. Yeah, hopefully enjoys this little bit of a story here. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. I wish you all to have a wonderful day, do some nice things, be kind to each other, and let's make the world a better place together. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Limbus Company, where we continue the story of chapter 6 and, well, listen to the history of Heathcliff's heartbreak, I guess. TheNeomare signing out. Bye bye.